Legendary South African guitarist. Would you say you're legendary, Dan?
Definitely not.
Okay, well, I say you're legendary. My name's Mike. I'm not legendary, but I'm at Marshall Music, which is a legendary music store. We thank you guys for joining us for this live stream. It's the Fender Custom Shop Showcase event. Of course, it's an event. There's a whole bunch of people here. Sorry that you weren't invited if you're watching, but we're lacking space in a big way in the shop because we've got so many guitars. This place is absolutely full. And we're bursting at the seams to talk to you guys about Fender Custom Shops. Thanks again for joining us. And what we're going to be doing tonight is talking you through a whole bunch of models that are here. There are a whole 19 of them. There was supposed to be 20, and we went and sold one. Sorry. So we got 19 to show you some great limited edition models that you're not going to see anywhere else. And the good news, of course, in South Africa, it's bad news actually, but the exchange rate is terrible. But these guitars predate the exchange rate, so the prices are amazing, actually. So definitely look out for these on our website. If you want to go to the website, they should be live from tomorrow morning. You can browse what the prices are, all those sorts of things. In the meantime, we'd like to thank DR Strings, because Dan is a DR Strings artist. You like DR Strings, right?
Absolutely love them. And let me just say, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Any excuse to mess around with a bunch of high-end Strats and Tellies is my idea of a good night. So it's great to be here. It's great to get a chance to play all these guitars. And yeah, as you mentioned, DR Strings, one of my favorite string brands. And I've been playing them for a couple of years now, and wow, just absolutely love them. They're kind enough to make me custom gauging like I use, so it's a bit of a pain in the butt if I don't have them, because I've got to make up sets, and DR kind enough to actually make my custom sets up for me, which is awesome. And I love the tone of them, I love the way they play.
Yeah, and if you are lucky enough to be here, of course, you would have gotten yourself a free set of DR Strings, and if you don't have it yet, you'll get one. So do ask for it if you don't have a set of DR Veritas, which are the new coated strings. All of these guitars actually have been restrung with the DR Veritas. They don't feel like coated strings. They got a coated core, and the actual windings are uncoated, so they don't have that squeaky, slippery feel if that's not what you're after, but it does have the longevity, which is awesome. So thanks to DR for helping us out with those. All of these guitars with the DR strings, and guess who put them on? It was JD Custom. Can't tell by the big banner over there. JD Custom, thanks to JD Custom for actually getting the guitars going and set up, because they had to wing their way over here from other parts of the country to do this. So, of course, needed a little bit of TLC, and they play great, eh, Dan?
Incredible. He's done a great job setting them up, and they're actually quite consistent through, action, feel, all that. He's done a very consistent job. They all kind of feel in a similar ballpark, which is great.
Yeah, so that's the admin out the way, right? Should we hear some more of this beautiful master built guitar that you got there?
No problem.
It's your guitar, is what I've heard.
Hey, what's that?
It's your guitar.
This is my guitar, yeah. So we thought we'd start off with my guitar. You want to hear about the guitar a bit?
No, play it first.
Well, let's play it. All right?
More Dan playing guitar is better. Full amazing guitar faces, Dan. I love him. I love him. Give him his guitar faces a hand, guys.
Thank you.
I mean, John Mayer, and then Dan Patlansky
On
up here with the
Guitar
guitar
Faces,
face.
it's about the only place I beat him. So it's
Somebody's
fine.
got to make some memes of the man. There's all the John Mayer memes. We need the... Oh, please. Giovanni, our graphic designer, is going to handle that. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. So this is a Masterboard custom shop that was built for you. Jason Smith built it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to have two pre-CBS Strats that I found here. I had a 62 that was Fiesta Red, and then I had a Sunburst Custom Shop, and then I found a body of a 64, Sunburst 64, and then I eventually found a neck for it. And I played those guitars for years, and I loved the neck of the 62. I loved the body of the 64, and I loved the color of my very first Strat I ever bought, which was like a 1994 57 reissue or something like that, which was this color. And, you know, my necks unfortunately got twisted. There was not enough rosewood anymore to refret. It was very, very thin. So it was time. They were becoming very difficult to play with, super difficult. I had to set the action super high just so it didn't choke because of the twisting of the neck. It became a nightmare to travel with and play with and change different climates. So, you know, I got Jason Smith, you know, Fender and myself commissioned Jason Smith to build this. It took a long time. It took 3 years to build, or 3 years to come, you know, and actually be able to play it. But it was an awesome, awesome process. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever had to do in my life, because Fender sent me this like booklet of specs that I had to fill out. And I mean, I was actually telling the guys earlier, I had to Google some of the terms in there, and I thought I knew a thing or two about guitar, but it gets seriously in-depth with master build. But what I did was I measured my favorite neck, the weight of my favorite body, the whole vibe of my favorite body, and in the color, and kind of put the order through. And when I got it 3 years later, it was crazy because it just felt natural, the guitar. It didn't feel like I had to get into it, and feel like, oh, maybe in a week or two it might feel natural. It felt, because I spec'd it exactly, it felt like I'd been playing it for years.
Did you have them like laser scan the neck and everything?
No.
You didn't go to that?
No, I didn't go to that. I just kind of measured the first fret, because it's normally measured in the first fret, and I think it's a 12th fret. And I measured the 62's neck. Can't remember what those measurements were. First sent them wrong measurements, by the way, because I used like an analog thing, and that could have been a very pricey mistake. But eventually got them the right measurements, and yeah, just sent them all that. And
it felt like home.
It felt like home, and I'm not just saying this. It's by far the best guitar I've owned. By far, it's the most comfortable, and it's because it's new in a sense. It was completed in 2019. It doesn't have those teething issues of touring, and going in South Africa, for instance, from Joburg to Durban, where there's a massive humidity difference. On those old Strats, I'd have to take the neck off and straighten the neck when I was in Durban, and then release it when I came back to Gauteng. So I don't have that anymore, which is lovely.
Gives you that consistency for touring.
Big time.
Yeah, so that's the master build process that he went through. And if you'd like to do that, Marshall Music is a custom shop dealer, so we can actually take you through the build process, tick all the boxes, and help you choose the things that might actually get you exactly the guitar that you want. Of course, the master build thing also goes to crazy extremes. Like if you want a guitar that's the shape of a clown or something crazy, you can have that. Yeah. That's the master builder will build you whatever you want. They
do, and the reason I went with master build is because, and I didn't go with just a normal custom shop, is obviously there's a bit of a price difference in them, but I really wanted the exact same feel. So I always suggest going for master build if you want to get an exact neck kind of thickness and exact. That's for me when master build is worth. Obviously, it's built by one guy. It's hand selected woods, all that sort of stuff. But the normal custom shop stuff for me is just as good. It just might not be exactly what you're after.
The normal custom shop. Yeah. So custom shops aren't very normal instruments.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
So what they call them now, they used to call them team built. They're now called custom built, just to make it a little clearer. They're still a custom shop. It's still made in a facility that's dedicated to making you exactly the guitar you want. It's just maybe 3 or 4 people are making the guitar instead of one guy.
Yeah.
There's usually a finish guy in the factory, usually a bodies guy, a neck guy, that sort of thing. But it's not a huge factory with thousands of people. It's still a small facility with guys who are extremely experienced, who know exactly what they're doing, who are the best of the best at what they do. And someday a lot of those guys on their production line do want to actually become master builders. That's actually their sort of succession, that you start and maybe you're the guy pushing in frets, but eventually you could be a Jason Smith or a Yuri Shishkov or
whoever. If you
John
kind
Cruz.
of build your way up.
So,
sure.
Yeah, whoever. So most of these guitars you're going to find are custom built guitars. They're not master built. But if you want to find like what's the perfect spec for you, it's a good idea to just play a bunch of different ones, try a bunch of different neck sizes, maybe a large C or a 60s oval or a 1056V or whatever, just to figure out what you like. And most of the time with a custom built, you can get to exactly what you want, because most guys don't have the level of attention to detail that Dan is looking for, exactness.
You can get it close enough,
exactly.
So the whole thing is like a bunch of these have the same necks, but they're all slightly different.
Because they're hand finished.
Yeah. So, and that's what makes it cool for me, So
absolutely,
which is
it's that human connection.
Yeah, sure.
So, your experience with the master built, you're going to do another one? You're going to make another 3? How's it going to go?
I wish I could, but I'm kind of like a one guitar man. I always have been. Like I just play the guitar, and it's just nice to really know a guitar and understand it, back to front, and get used to it, and and just know it, because every piece of wood resonates a little bit differently. It responds a little bit differently. So I've been playing this exclusively since 2019, and dead happy with it, So maybe one day, maybe it's in the cards one day,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, of course, what I mentioned a little bit earlier on about there being amazing prices on these things, what we're also going to do for the first guitar purchase, whether you're here or whether you're watching on stream, you buy later on, however it might be, you're going to get a Custom Shop branded bag. I mean, I got the Custom Shop branded shirts, but don't worry, this is staying with me. You'll get a Custom Shop branded bag. It's about a $3,000 bag, and you get 3 months Patreon VIP access to Dan lessons.
Yeah, so
you get $6,000, right?
Yeah. So I've got this Patreon page where I teach guitar. Like there's content added every single week, and the VIP tier there, you have access to all the content plus a private lesson on Zoom or Skype, once a month. So that's that's.
You should just do that anyway. I mean, don't you want to learn how to play like that? And get guitar purchase number 2 and number 3 also gets the Custom Shop bag, and you get a 3-month Patreon all access pass with Dan as well. That's valued at $3,500.
Yeah. So the all access pass is all the content available anytime you want, just without the one-on-one lessons monthly. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're watching on stream as well, we really appreciate you guys joining us. It's a fairly unconventional thing in South Africa to do live streams from music stores, but not our first rodeo with this. And if you are enjoying it and you would like to get in on the action with Fender Custom Shop stuff or with DR strings, there's a Gleam giveaway on the stream, so have a look out for that. If you follow our pages, it explains to you how to do it. So don't worry, you can get yourself some strings too. I think we should actually make some more guitar sounds, shouldn't we?
Which guitar are we going with first?
We're going to start out with this one. This one. But that one's good. I like that one.
All right.
Okay, so this fine specimen over here is number 1, and it's got a couple features that are going to be pretty common across most of the guitars that we're going to mention. So just before I hit this one, Dan will grab it quickly. Most of these guitars, 70% of these guitars have the 60s oval C neck shape, which is a thinner neck shape. It's sort of 0.790 inches at the first fret and 9.0930 at the 12th fret. So it gets fairly thick up, but it's quite slim and tapered at the cowboy chord end, so to speak. Most of these guitars have a 9.5-inch fingerboard radius. The vintage Fender radius is 7.25 inches, which can fret out a little bit or be a little bit troublesome. Some guys don't like that, so most custom shops actually go for 9.5. So even if it is a 1961 reissue or whatever it is, probably has a 9.5-inch fingerboard radius. 6105 medium jumbo frets, that's kind of uniform across most of these, but I'll point it out to you when it isn't one. And most of these have an elder body, but this one doesn't, because it's the Knotty Pine limited edition Telecaster. And in this one, it's a thin line, and it's made out of pine, roasted pine.
Really comfortable on this one. Super comfortable. It's got like a beautiful kind of bird's eye kind of pattern on the back of it.
Yeah, bird's eye maple.
Yeah, which is lovely. And it's got that traditional kind of thin line sound where you can hear that hollow body kind of sound coming through. You can hear it's almost got a hollowness in the tone compared to my Strat, right?
It's got a hole in it, so.
And a classic in-between telly sound.
So they're fairly punchy. What do you think of the pickups?
Very cool, man. Very, very cool. I mean, it sounds like they've got they're giving you something, right? You're not having to work extremely hard to kind of, get something out of them, which is nice. And
what do you guys think? Do you like them? Anyone? Thumbs up? Down? Horrible? Good?
I think a good start, yeah.
Okay, good.
And
Just checking. I got the earplugs in. I can't tell anything.
Strum's great, man. All right.
That's a great guitar, man. It's great
Epic,
guitar.
man. Beautiful.
Yeah. Let me give you this one. All right. Doing a little bit of musical chairs here. We're going to have to do that a little bit as we go. Take that. He's just going to keep running into the camera. Sorry, that's why he's got the Custom Shop logo on his back, so at least you know that that's what this is. But
okay, so
we're a little limited on space.
So what is this one?
That one is the Dual Mag 2 Stratocaster. Before we hit that one, price on the other one, $74,995. In dollar terms at the moment, it'd set you back about 90 grand. So I guess you can buy it in dollars if you like. That's before shipping. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a pretty good deal. So this one's the Dual Mag 2 Stratocaster Heavy Relic in 3-tone Sunburst. This one's $84,995. And if you pay it in dollars, it'll set you back 120 grand. But you're not paying in dollars, you're in South Africa.
As neck pickup. Middle. And bridge. Yeah, so what I like about this guitar is it's got a kind of a sanded down finish on the neck.
Yeah.
Is this roasted neck?
It is.
It
And
feels
actually roasted elder body, which is interesting as well. So
yeah. So I mean, on
delicious.
my Master Bull, I've also got the roasted elder body, but I don't have the roasted neck, and the roasted neck feels great. Your hand doesn't feel like it's getting caught on the varnish, right? It just kind of gets really, really smooth.
the heavy Relic there, they've taken a little bit of that off as well.
Yeah, on the top there. Yeah, big time. And it's quite a skinny neck, this one. So if you're into guitars with skinny necks, this is a little bit skinnier than my Strat, and definitely the Telly, but a very nice player. It's got quite a high action at the moment, but really, really.
So that one's
great
also
player.
got big frets, 6100 jumbo frets. So
Yeah.
railroad tracks. What
Yeah.
do you have on yours?
I got 6000s, which are
Okay.
one size bigger.
Even bigger.
Yeah.
Jeez, I didn't know they made them bigger.
Yeah. So those are the frets they normally put in, like, I don't know, like shredder guitars. But for bigger strings, it helps. For me, it helps to have a bigger fret because it's easier to bend, and it makes the strings feel lighter. It makes it like a vibrato. You can kind of dig in a little bit deeper. And yeah, it just kind of makes the whole thing feel better. But all around, it's awesome. It's kind of a cool sunburst where the red, which happens on old guitars, where the red is the first thing to go.
Yeah.
And it's
Why this is called the Dual Mag 2 is because it has like hybrid magnets in the pickups. You got Alnico 5s on the low strings, and I think it's Alnico 3 on the high strings.
yeah, and that
to
makes
sort of
sense
soften
because
them up.
Alnico 5s are a lot more snappy, which helps with the lower strings, and the 2s or 3s or whatever they are warmer, are slightly warmer. That kind of tapers off the that shrill sound you get out of Strat sometimes. Yeah,
Great guitar, man.
fantastic, man.
Glad you like it.
Yeah, here we go.
Next, Yeah, this one, it just sounded more like you when you started playing it, Dan. Like, you know, you're a Strat guy, not a Tele guy. So as soon as you started playing it, I was just like, whoa. Oops, sorry.
Okay, so what is this one?
Yeah, that is a good question. I should probably figure that out, eh? That is a 1959 Stratocaster reissue, heavy relic, super faded, aged candy apple red. Those are a lot of words.
I must say, this is my favorite looking guitar here. I really like the way this one...
This is mine.
That's yours, yeah? So for me, a radio, you can hear there's more of an openness in the pickups, almost maybe less output than the last Strat, which I kind of like. The pickups I have in my master build also are very, very low output pickups. And a low output pickup for me, for my ears, just is that classic Strat sound where, you know, you get more bottom end, you get more top end, and a Strat naturally has a mid-range scoop in it, and that's what makes a Strat. And, you know, the more you wind a pickup, you know, the more the mid-range boosts and the more the bottom end tightens up. So this, for me, immediately sounds like it's more of a vintage, way more of a vintage voice kind of pickup. Nice neck, a very, very similar neck to my master builds. Yeah, it's just like a nice medium, on the thickish side kind of neck. Now, what kind of frets? These look like huge frets.
Actually, yeah, they're the same size as the other one, the 6100, so one of the bigger fret sizes that you get, the railroad tracks.
Yeah, and it feels really great. And keep in mind, this has also got quite a stiff action, right? But it still plays really, really nice. Bridge pickup. And those are all the pickups on this one.
You just make all of that sound super easy, man.
But it really is. Like, I must say, it's a very, very nice feeling Strat. I normally like maybe a neck for my person. You know, that's the beauty of these guitars is you know, wants a different neck. Guys want smaller necks. Guys want more modern necks. Guys want big necks. I kind of tend to be on the bigger neck side. This is probably now a little bit smaller than mine, but like it's close. It really.
So what's
really
amazing again is all three guitars so far are that 60s oval shape. So again, because it's hand finished from builder to builder, they'll take a little bit more material off. Some will leave a little bit more on. Sometimes it's about finding a particular feel. You know, some guys in the shop might go a little bit bigger, some a little bit smaller. So it's always about trying the individual guitar. Don't just believe the spec sheet. Play the guitar.
And I mean, yeah, that's my experience with real old ones, like pre-CBS Strats. Like every 62 or 63 or 59, and I've played a bunch, they all sound completely different. I mean, not sound completely different, they do that, but they all feel completely different. The necks are supposed to be the same if you're playing the same ear, but they all got their own unique vibe happening. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this beautiful, beautiful specimen, show the back as well. See if we can get that on the stream quickly. There we go. That thing is lovely. I love the way this candy apple red looks. Because of the fade, it's almost like a coppery kind of vibe, which is just spectacular to me. I like it.
Yeah.
And the relic job on this one is exceptional.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It feels like the paint's going to fall off at any second, but it won't. That's kind of what you want. So that particular beautiful guitar would set you back 78,995. Does it sound like a lot? Yes, it is. But 95 grand is what it would set you back before shipping from the States right now. These are all got 10 gauge DR Veritas.
Except mine, yeah.
So that's except his, of course, because he's got a custom gauge, which you can't buy. He can't buy them either because he gets them for free. It's crazy. So that particular one over there, that's the 1963 Heavy Relic in aged Daphne Blue. I like that guitar a lot. I've played that guitar quite a bit. It's a good guitar. Oh, I forgot to mention the Candy Apple's got Texas specials, hand-woven Texas specials.
Okay, right.
So they're a little pokier, but they're not actually hot. People
right.
think Texas specials are
You see,
hot.
I've only ever played just the regular Texas specials, and those they feel really good to play. You know, they really do.
Yeah, they got a really cool
to them.
touch sensitivity about them.
Big time, man. All right, so this one, yeah.
1963. Except it was made this year.
Right, so for me, that's the best feeling neck out of all of them for what I like.
And that's actually a different profile.
Is
That's
it?
called the 63. I think it's called the 63 Style C. So it's slightly.
So
thicker.
that's very similar to that because it's the closest.
It's also really similar to a John Mayer guitar.
Oh, really?
Same,
okay.
Same
So,
sort of profile.
which
I have one, by the way. I like it. It's a good John Mayer guitar.
This neck really just I don't have the world's biggest hands, but it really just feels great under the fingers. It really does. And the pickups, you can hear, now that I'm hearing it against the Texas Specials, you can hear they've got a lot more top end on them. They're a lot
So those
more,
are Fat 60s.
Okay.
So it's basically that sort of 63, 64 Strat thing with a little bit more gears, a little bit of modern day sauce on there.
But a nice sounding pickup, man, you know. It's got that lovely hollowness of that you know from a Strat. Beautiful. Really cool color.
I keep laughing like sort of involuntarily when I listen to you play because I'm watching people's faces and some people are like, and other people are doing the guitar player thing. It's amazing. You know, you're being complimented. There's a lot of guitar players with crossed arms here, man. So
this one, especially on the 12th fret, that's where it just comes alive for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like really fills the hand beautifully.
It's beautiful quarter saw and maple neck as well. That's just how they cut the into the actual log when they harvest the lumber. It's supposedly gives you a more stable neck. So, you know, there's a couple of options. Most of these would be flat sawn or rift sawn. This one's quarter sawn, which is usually a little bit of an upcharge, and it's what a lot of touring guys would go for is a quarter sawn neck. So that one, I like that one. That one's good.
It's a beaut. It's awesome.
More swapping. Sorry, we should have actually got like an AB box with like 16 outs or something. That would have maybe worked. Yeah, but no, it's just going to be a bit of running around with this. So that particular 63 Strat, the one that I'm still holding, 80995, would set you back 98K right now from the States, but 80,000. So yeah, I'd buy this one first if I were you guys. This one's good.
All right, and this guy?
That one, well, it's purple.
Purple?
That's the first thing that catches the eye. That's a limited edition 1960 Telecaster in a Journeyman Relic. So now, of course, what we should mention with the Relics is there are different levels of it. You get new old stock, like that guitar next to you over there. That's no relicking at all. It's just a new guitar. Journeyman is the in-between sort of level. So a lot of the limited editions come as Journeyman Relics because it's got some wear, but the paint's still on there. Doesn't look like it's been dragged behind a truck or anything like that. And then some of the well, actually, I mean, Anderton's did a really great video a couple of years ago for April Fools where they drove a moped and dragged a telly behind it. So I thought that was quite fun. They don't do that at the custom shop. I'm reliably informed. Don't worry. There's actual science that goes into this because you've got to do it properly. If you get it wrong, the finish will just fall off the guitar. There's a lot of experience and a lot of work that's actually gone into getting it right. You've seen the heavy Relic, like the Candy Apple guitar. So there's a lot of finished material missing from there, but part of what they'll also do is the rounding on the fingerboard edges. You'll get more rounded edges on something like a heavy Relic because it's simulating years of play. But all of the custom shop is much more rounded than what fingerboard edges for comfort than what you get from a standard Fender. So they are doing fingerboard rolling now on even things like Mexican Player Plus series, but it doesn't feel anything like as good as these. It feels good, much better than they used to feel, say, 20 years ago, but These things are just on another level. And what's also on another level is the flame maple neck on that thing. You just want to crank that puppy around quickly. Don't know if you guys can see that from over there. If you can't, just believe us that it's nice. So.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. Whoops.
It's in there somewhere.
Middle.
Wow.
Very, very nice, man. Very nice. So this is for me. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it's got a very, very modern neck. It's got like, so it's quite skinny and it's quite flat at the back. You
Another
know?
60s style oval C.
There you go. But it really is, you know, a lot smaller than the other ones, right?
It does feel it as well in the hand,
Yeah.
especially here, sort of the first 3-4
Yeah,
frets.
yeah.
It really is very skinny. That's got the 58 hand wide pickups, which is actually a pickup you can't buy because a lot of the custom shop pickups, you do want to hot rod your guitar, you can actually buy them, which is awesome. So, I mean, Mark back there upgraded his telly with some Twisted Telly pickups. Did it help, Mark? No. Oh, what? Liar. These ones you can't buy, though. They're some of the super secret ones you only get in a custom shop, and they do really have like a nice sweetness to them that, you know, maybe a little bit less bite than some of the others, but they're really sweet.
Yep. Lovely, man. Lovely. Very, very vintagey.
Great guitars. 88,995, I think it is. If I'm reading this. No, I'm wrong. It's 69,995, and would set you back over 80 if you were to import it like a crazy person. I should just do what I do at home and just rip things out, you know. But I'm trying not to blow up the works property. So, wait, hang on. This actually belongs to Fender, so I'm not actually worried. We'll just pull it out. Whoo!
So immediately it's got more balls, yeah?
Twisted Telly pickups. They're much more modern sounding. The neck pickups styled after a Strat pickup. It's what I have in my Telly. Love them. They're amazing.
A nice fat bridge pickup too.
Whoops.
Very cool. My favorite telly so far.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
So that's validating my choice in pickups as well.
It's great sounding pickups. Also, I don't know if it's got the same neck. That's C. And this is also quite a skinny one.
Yeah, definitely on the skinnier side. This is a Telly Custom, so you got the double binding on both sides. This is Seafoam Green over Sunburst, which is awesome. Really dig this one. I gather our good friend from Fender, Philip, actually had this one in his office for a while because it's so pretty, and I don't blame him. I would probably want to keep it too. It's beautiful. It is a great guitar. I love this one. Twisted Telly pickups, as I mentioned. This one would set you back 88,995. It's over 100K now new. Again, we're just quoting sort of ballpark figures. We're not talking about actually getting it into South Africa. So, you know, you're going to pay more than that. Great guitar.
Very
Also a 1960 limited edition, by the way. And when you come and look at these guitars, you'll check on the neck plate. It actually does say limited edition, all the ones that are. Why they're a limited edition is because they usually release certain combinations of colors and things that are exclusive to the limited edition that aren't in the normal order book. So, for instance, the flame maple neck on these, the double binding on that one, that doesn't usually go with a 1960. You'd usually get that on, say, late 60s with a 3-bolt style and Scheller style tuners or something would be double bound. So that's why that one, for instance, is special, other than it being awesome.
Awesome.
You guys could literally say anything about me. I have earplugs in because I'm being punished by this amp, so I would have no idea what you're saying. Thanks. There you go.
Can you knock me back in there?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, so what's this one?
That one is a Stratocaster, I do believe. That one has the best neck.
The V-neck.
It's called an 1156 V-neck. It's slightly off-center, so it's not quite the V in the middle like the Clapton style. It's just a little bit off-center, which is, they call it asymmetric, which is awesome. So it actually kind of rests your hand a little bit sometimes when you're playing with the thumb behind, which is super cool. So that's a limited edition 1956 Strat, super heavy Relic in super faded two-tone Sunburst, and it is very faded.
Yeah, heavy Relic, yeah? Yeah, very, very comfortable to play. It's also a nice big neck. It really fits in the hand. And, yeah, that asymmetric thing feels fantastic.
That's awesome.
And I don't normally like maple because they normally got a finish on them. But this is because most of the finish has been worn off. It feels really, really nice. And you can kind of feel it's a maple under the fingers. You can kind of hear it's a maple. It's got a little bit more zing on it. What pickups are in this?
These are hand-wired Fat 50s.
I've always been a fan. It's like one of my favorites. Fender pickups are Fat 50s. I really think it's a great modern take on that 50s chimey style sound. It really is. And I also find them quite a forgiving pickup. Right? There's very little spikes in the frequencies or whatever. I just find them quite.
They've got a nice glossiness to them as well, which is that classic Strat kind of thing. But of course, classic Strat means different things to different people. Some people want a bit more quack on the in-between positions. Some people want it to be that sort of glossier, sort of. I wouldn't say brittle, but it has that sort of top end sparkle. That,
sure.
And other people want a darker sound that's got a little bit more push or punch. What's in your guitar, by the way, your Masterboard?
Well, pickup wise,
Yeah.
I've got MF pickups in there, which is Mark Foley pickups.
Oh. Yes, I remember this. Actually, if you guys want to check out on our channel, on the Marshall Music channel, on YouTube, on Facebook, we have an hour-long interview with Dan where he actually talks about all these things. But it was a year ago, so I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are voiced like 1959, late 50s, early 60s pickups, but he just does something magical with them. And I can't tell you what it is because I have no knowledge of all these things.
There's just magic sauce in there.
Yeah, some magic sauce.
Something
But
like
all
that.
in all, I'm not normally a maple guy, but this is like one of the nicest Strats for
The
me
neck
so
is
far.
amazing.
Really, really beautiful Strat.
79,995 or 100K if you want to purchase elsewhere. So great guitar. Really dig that neck. You guys afterwards come and feel it. These guitars are all going to be at Marshall Music until the end of October. So even if you're watching the stream and you'd like to come through and actually check them out, they'll all be here for you to try and to touch and to slobber on and to leave finger marks on and all. And if you do, you've bought it. So we've sold guitars, and that sounds amazing. So please eat something sticky before you come. No, don't. Cool. Let's pull that one out. There you go. I just want to hold this neck because it's comforting somehow in its size.
It really is, you know. Also very cool. What pickups are on this one?
That is also the hand-wired 58. The same pickups as the other, but the difference is this is an ash body.
Right.
And maple. So
I think so far this is, I know I say this about everyone, but this is the best telly I've played, right?
I like that telly very much as well. Also comfortingly girthy.
Yeah, it's a nice thick neck. It's not like, some of those very early 50s tellies when they didn't have a truss rod in them. They were just like massive, like they didn't taper at all. They were as thick.
Baseball bat.
Yeah, and those are a little bit too big for me. But
they're intimidating.
Yeah.
They're not for everyone. The girth isn't for everyone.
But this feels fantastic, and I love the sound of this one because this sounds what in my brain what a telly should sound like. You know what I mean? It's that classic, and it never gets thin. If you hear that back pickup,
it also just shows you different wood. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Tone wood is real. Oh wait, internet, leave me alone. Yeah, the internet really don't like the tone wood thing, do they?
Yes, this is great. Very cool to play, and
love the Relic job on that one.
Yeah, it's a
as
great
well.
Relic job.
That one looks great. Also, what's interesting with this one, I don't know if you realize this while you're playing it, but it actually has a compound radius fingerboard. It's
right, maybe that's why I like it.
7.25 inches over here, gradually tapering up to 9.5. So the whole sort of modern thing. So it gives you kind of the best of both worlds. When you're bending up high, it's not going to clang,
choke out, and because if you don't have that, well, if you don't want to play with a very high action, sometimes it helps to have a compound neck, so you can actually keep your action lower and actually bend the notes without choking them. Otherwise, you've got to kind of jack the action up a little bit.
Yep, so that's also a limited edition. That's the 1958 Telecaster Heavy Relic Faded Aged Chocolate 3-color Sunburst. And it is very chocolatey and delicious, isn't it? 89,995 or north of 100 should you purchase elsewhere. I don't know if I should keep saying that because I'm starting to feel bad about making fun of prices elsewhere. That was my fault, sorry.
And this one? What is this?
That one? Jeez. Whoa. That's the wrong one. I gave you the wrong one.
Right, so let's...
I got confused because I was too busy.
All right.
I'm actually busy reading from 4 different documents simultaneously while talking, so it's quite difficult.
All right.
You can take this one too, Jace. Thanks.
So what is this one?
That one is one of my favorite ones. That one has the best neck profile. I keep saying this because they just get better. We've sort of tiered them to get better. This one is the Master Design collection by John Cruz. John Cruz was one of the top master builders at Fender Custom Shop. He's no longer there anymore, but this was one of his creations. It's actually a custom-built guitar, so built by the team, but it's his specs and his design. And this is the Mod Rock from the Master collection. And this thing is insane. It's got a 59 large C neck, which is my favorite profile. I've got that on my telly as well, and it just feels like home. It's thick, but it's not too like intimidatingly big. But it's a lot bigger than anything that you get on a standard Fender. So yeah, that's part of one of the, for me at least, the allure of custom shops is if you want a big neck, you like a big neck, that's where you go, because generally most of the standard models won't have it. Some of the Ventura Mexican stuff do, so you can get like a large, like a U shape on a telly or something, but the thing is then it's going to have a vintage fingerboard radius, whereas when you come to a custom shop, you get that 9.5-inch radius. This one's got 6100 frets. It's got John Cruz custom hand-wound Strat middle and neck pickups, and it's got a John Cruz hand-wound broadcaster bridge pickup, which is amazing. So it's actually a telly bridge pickup. Now the other thing, the bottom tone control, roll that all the way off when you play it now. We'll roll it in again so you guys can hear what that does, because this thing's interesting. This also doesn't have a nitro finish. All of these guitars generally have a nitro finish. This has got a thin polyurethane finish. And the reason for this, you're standing there. I didn't notice. Sorry. Is just to keep the look of the guitar intact. Because some guys, maybe they want to buy a guitar that they don't want to wear in over time. A lot of guys do want the wear, and some people don't. So Fender Custom Shop also offer that. If you can actually custom order any of these things if you want with the polyurethane finish, and it'll stay kind of that way unless you really smack it against something repeatedly, it'll keep looking that way. That's also an exclusive finish on this guitar. It's called Silver Blue Sparkle, and it just sort of changes color depending on when you look.
Yeah.
So let's go through the pickups, and then I'll show you what that bottom part does.
This rolled down.
Rolled off, yeah.
Rolled off completely.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds like it's out of phase to me.
Yeah,
All right.
fine.
All right, so now if we roll it back.
So what that is it's a blend where you can bring in one the bridge pickup or the neck pickup, depending on where you are on the pickup selector. But when you're over towards the bridge and you bring in the neck pickup, it fattens it up and makes it hotter. When you go over towards the neck pickup and you bring that in, it sounds like two pickups on.
Okay, so with all the way down, it's standard.
Just out, yeah.
Okay. I think it's the other way around.
Two pickup, yeah, well, whichever way around. I can't see your pickup selector.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so with it all the way up, it's standard. So the standard sounds are.
Could have had that the wrong way around.
And then blending it back. So you can hear there, it kind of gives you that, almost that telly sound when you're in the middle.
Yeah, middle switch kind of thing.
Which is very cool.
Yeah.
It gives you like almost a hollowness to the sound.
Yeah.
And I must say, this neck, for my personal thing, is probably a bit big for me.
Oh. Say it ain't so.
But it still plays great, and I can kind of see the alert. Almost feels like it's, even though it's a C, it feels like it's in the shape of the letter D. It does. It's kind of got like,
Again, it's a D, isn't
yeah,
it? Okay.
because it's got like shoulders on the sides. So it doesn't kind of smooth out as quickly, right? Taper as quickly, and it's got kind of a good feel. But the pickups in it sound incredible.
Yeah.
Probably the best sounding for me. Strat pickups out of all.
And I dig that it's the telly bridge pickup in the back, because that's the weakness on a lot of Strats. They can be a little thin in that position, but on that guitar.
Not at all. Yeah.
And also, because it's got that blend system, the tone control actually works for the back pickup. If you
Yeah, like halfway in. Nice and hollow, yeah.
And of course, roasted maple and roasted elder body as well. So I'm seeing the correlation here with the roasted bodywood with you.
Yeah.
You seem to dig that. Eh?
It does. I don't know what it actually does. I just got it done on mine because it just sounded like a good idea, and someone said maybe it's going to kind of like dry the wood out and kind of replicate an older body, and that's why I kind of went with it. And it looks kind of cool because you can see it's a little bit darker under.
Sort of got a mahogany kind of look from a distance.
Yeah. But it definitely does something to the tone.
I think the theory mostly for what people say about roasted woods is that it's one of the other ways that they'll call it is torrefying or torrefication, to sort of harden the sugars and the moisture inside the wood. And that just means, because there's always some measure of moisture in wood when you have temperature changes or humidity changes, that's part of why your neck will move a little bit. So if you roast the wood, generally it'll be a little bit more stable because it's going to be drier, and the actual moisture that's inside the wood is also a little bit less susceptible to the moving. Because like if there's no moisture, the thing will explode into pieces. There needs to be some moisture in wood, otherwise it's extremely brittle. And that's a lot of brands, especially the cheaper brands, your Harley Bentons and things. Sometimes the necks are a bit fragile because of the roasting. They're overcooked a little bit. They didn't set the oven timer right or whatever. You need to have a little bit of care over doing these sorts of things.
But yeah, so far out of all the custom stuff, my favorite sounding one by far.
I'm sure we'll find another one. I don't believe you anymore at this point.
right guitar?
Yeah.
Cool. So what is this?
That is a Telecaster Custom. That's also a limited... No, it's not, isn't it? It isn't a limited edition. What am I saying? I'm so used to saying limited edition. It's a 1964 Telecaster Custom Heavy Relic in aged ice blue metallic. We've had that guitar in the store before, and I've played it quite a bit. And that actually helped me choose the pickups that I would like in a Telecaster, because that one's got Twisted Telly pickups.
Right.
So they're great pickups. But you know what we didn't say is the price of that guitar that you really like.
What is the price of that blue?
The master design is $84,995, north of $100K at current pricing, but again, you know, $84,995 if you want to buy it.
Excellent.
I think it's the kind of guitar you tour with and not worry about as much as maybe some of the others, because you could sort of bounce it off things and use it as a cricket bat and whatever, because that poly finish is just going to take things, you know. Don't do that, please. No, don't harm guitars. Checking that our camera crew's still alive, you know.
Right.
Are you guys still alive? You good? You're alive?
Right, so yeah, this plays really cool. I would say a slightly smaller neck than the other ones. Is this
Oval C again?
Oval C again,
Alder
right?
body, 105 frets.
You know, for me, just my personal thing is I really like maple necks on tellies. I'm like, you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just
I'm
something
with you
about
on that, man.
But, you know, and more of a rosewood guy on Strats. But this is great. Great player. This is, yeah.
It's a great guitar. That one maybe give us a little bit of an object lesson on what Fender means by the year. So 1964, and this one means it's got a laminate fingerboard. It's a rosewood board. Tellies of that era would, if we're going back to the actual 60s, would be rosewood at this point, and if they're 50s, would tend to be maple. So about 1960, 1961 was the point that rosewood would start to come in.
59,
so,
I think it was.
Yeah, so with Fender, you'll typically see if it's called a 1950 something, it's probably got a maple board, and if it's a 1960 something, it's probably got a rosewood board. But there are exceptions, because on Strats, for instance, there were rosewood on some of them in the late 50s. So
Yeah, 59. That's
not hard and fast. This one's also got a quarter sawn flame maple neck, and I think it might actually be a limited edition. Let's look at that neck blade.
Yeah, nope.
Oh, okay. So quarter sawn on this one for stability, and that's good with a flame maple neck, because flame maple tends to actually move a little more sometimes than others. It'll take a little bit longer to be stable, so being quarter sawn makes it a bit more stable right out of the box, and it's pretty. It just is.
Beautiful.
That particular guitar, I think, is $94,995. Do I remember the price correctly? I do. Or north of 100. That's... We're getting the process down now that we're on the home stretch.
So for me, like one of my favorite colors, I was actually telling Phil from Fender this afternoon, is this color. I love this color. It's like my favorite Strat color or Telly color, Fender color, which is Lake Placid blue. It's just such just an epic blue for me. You know? I think they used to paint like Cadillacs or some car the same color.
A car of some sort.
Some.
I usually know these things, but I don't know that one.
And then,
Somebody.
And then what year? What is a Strat?
So that's a 50. I think it's a 59 Strat. Or actually, I don't have a year on this. It's just a roasted Poblano Stratocaster Heavy Relic, aged Lake Placid blue over 3-color Sunburst, and it is a limited edition because it's got all sorts of interesting things going on. 88, 495, or 110.
And this one feels like kind of like a 63, kind of a nice full neck. I don't know what the neck is.
Actually, the interesting thing on that particular one is it's also the large C that you
right.
felt
You
there,
see,
but
so
it's
they all
a
feel
slightly
different.
less full-feeling version of that large C.
So this is kind of very similar to what I'm used to.
Again, hand finishing, so they're all a little bit different. This one's got quite hard pickups. They're called the Poblano pickups. That's why it's called the Poblano Strat. Also, I think it has jumbo frets. It does. 6100 jumbo frets, and we got roasted quarter sawn maple neck and roasted elder body.
Wonderful.
So roasty. So it tells us you're going to like it and you're going to say it's better than the last one.
Well, I don't know.
Do you guys want to like take bets on this?
The color does it for me already.
Okay.
So I really like this. It's a really, really nice guitar.
You sure you're not being influenced by the color, though?
Definitely not.
I bought a guitar yesterday because I like the color.
It's a little bit more like if I compare it to the John Cruz design one, that like sparkly blue one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit brighter, right? So it's got a little bit more zing on the top end, and I prefer kind of the tone possibly of that other one. But still, this is a very, very, for my ear, very period correct kind of voicing. For an early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
That's what you also find. A slightly hotter pickup tends to be less bright, so it'll have more of that aged kind of thing. But it's going to push an amp a bit more than a period correcting, but it has the tone, which is...
Sure, exactly. But all in all, favorite Strat neck. This is the closest to mine. Favorite Strat neck, but yeah.
We should have done the whole Andertons thing and had a board and written like which ones to keep score, because I don't know if anyone's going to be able to follow along. So favorite neck.
Favorite neck.
Favorite pickups where?
In John Cruz. The John
Master
Cruz
design, okay. So this particular one you're holding is a 1960 Telecaster Relic in faded age 3-color Sunburst, and it's very similar to another one that you played, except that it's got a a rosewood board.
Oh, was the other one maple?
When you played a Sunburst a little bit earlier with the maple, so let me just check. I'm pretty sure this one's got the same. Yeah, 58 pickups. So we've heard two with 58 pickups.
Yeah, my favorite Tele pickup so far. Yeah.
And ash body there too. He's just sneaking up on me with guitars. It just never ends.
I personally prefer the maple, but very, very nice. And that just proves what I was saying. I really like, these are my favorite Tele pickups because they sound like what I thought.
Definitely got a sweetness to it, and that rosewood does sort of tame the high end. But of course, the accepted wisdom with guitars is, maple boards are brighter and rosewood is darker. I'd say if you look at them, rosewood looks darker. As to how does it sound, well, try the guitar, because going in with that preconception, you're going to limit yourself in a guitar shop. I've stood here and watched a guy go, "Oh, that's rosewood. It's too dark. I don't want to play that guitar." And I'm just thinking to myself, "Are you nuts? Like, have you played the guitar? How do you know? Don't go with the preconception. Try the guitar. That's why places like Marshall Music exist. You can come and actually try them out. Make sure that from guitar to guitar, sometimes there's a little bit of differences in the wood. There's a little bit of differences in the wiring. The capacitors, the potentiometers. There's a word there. I knew it. Potentiometers. They often have like up to sort of a 20% variance in a lot of guitars. Now, custom shops, they keep it within about a 5%, so the guitars are all much more consistent. But a lot of guitars, there'll be like a 20% variance in the pot values from one guitar to another. So you're going to go and say, well, this guitar is going to be dark. You need to play it. 20% is a lot on electronics. That could make a huge difference the way it sounds. So definitely don't go in with preconceptions. The internet will tell you all sorts of things, but you need to try it for yourself. And also don't try 3 things and then go, hey, that's how it must be. I think I've owned 18 guitars in the last 12 months, so I've tried a few things. And obviously with the store, I like to try lots of different things. That gives you a lot of context. So even if you're not going to buy lots of guitars, try lots of guitars, because that'll give you more context to zero in on exactly what you like.
Very, very nice.
Next, that one is one of the one that Dan was just playing is one of the best value options. But by best value, I mean cheap. It's cheap. It's not really cheap. It's a lot of money, but it's cheap relative to a lot of these. This is 70,995. It's one of the best value ones if you want to get into custom shop. This is a good way to go. And he liked it, but he likes everything at this stage. So.
Yeah, I mean, so far there's been no jut, so it's been cool. You know?
Well, that's the thing. I want to do this again. Would you guys come if we had a Squire one? would you come? Because if we did that, then we'd be like, okay, if he says everything is good, then I think we could be like, okay, this is not true. Squires are really good nowadays, by the way, but it's a relative thing. So, for your money, you're going to get a good guitar for your money. But these are the very top, the most stellar, the best. So, that's not a fair comparison. But we do live in a day and age where you can spend very little money for a very good guitar, whereas a lot of us, 20, 30 years ago, depending on your age, maybe 40, 50 years ago, the guitars that you had access to were probably pretty shit, if they were cheap. Nowadays, it's very hard to get a bad guitar for, entry level unless you're buying it from a pawn shop or something. You're going to get something pretty good for a few $1,000. But the difference between that and something like this is pretty big.
Night and day, yeah. And this guy, this black over Sunburst?
Yeah, that is also a 1960, but it's a Telecaster Custom, so you got the binding. And then obviously black over Sunburst, 83,495. Or over 100. Twisted Telly pickups, hotter again.
Very cool. Very,
You've been
very
too
cool.
hard.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Very, very, very nice. The one thing I noticed was this one. This one's got a slightly heavier body and not overboard. I'd still consider this a light guitar. Looks-wise, my favorite Telly out of all of them. Probably.
You like the look.
I really.
He said it's his favorite, guys. He's lying at this point.
No,
can't be true. Okay.
Not feeling, not playing, but
Okay.
looking.
Looking. Okay, so we have 3 different leaderboards here. We've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
looking.
This is really, really cool. It's Relic beautifully.
The Relic job on that one is
it's
outstanding.
probably one of the most realistic ones I've seen. Very, very.
And you
very
would
cool.
know because you mistreat guitars on a regular basis.
Well, so yeah, this is great, man. Really, really cool. You can feel a little bit of extra output from the pickups.
It's a bit strattier, I would say. Huh?
Yeah, definitely on that neck pickup.
So why that is with the Twisted Telly is it's actually taller. So if you take the pickup out of the pickguard, it's actually quite a tall pickup, whereas the Telly pickup is usually quite flat, and it's just to get a bit more wire on there.
Right.
Longer magnets as well, so more Strat-like.
Very cool.
83,495. We're going to fight over that chord. Now we've got a Paisley Telly. This is a 1968 limited edition, and it's black Paisley. It's a Relic, and it's nice, and I forgot to plug you back in because I was talking too much. Yeah.
The easiest playing telly by far. The most playable telly. You know.
Nice.
And what pickups on this?
So that's a twisted telly neck.
Oh yeah.
So same as the previous one, but it's got a broadcaster bridge, which is a little rortier.
And that just shows you, like, I mean, there's been a bunch of twisted tellies, but I find this twisted telly neck to be, for my ears, and also your fingers. You know, when you're playing a guitar, it's like, it's not just about what you're hearing, it's about how it feels under the fingers. This is like, it feels really good under the
It's
fingers,
about the individual, the way the guitar feels to you. Because one person's amazing, this is the best thing I've ever played, I'll sell my children into slavery for this guitar kind of thing. Is in other person's, I hate this and it's crap. It just really is about how you connect with the guitar and how it feels under your fingers, because guitars are tactile, hey Dan?
Very much so. Very, very much so. And this one, you know, just plays easy. I can't explain it. It's got nothing to do with the neck shape. Very similar neck shapes to some of the others.
60s Oval C?
60s Oval C. But it just, some reason, I don't know if it's is the radius the same?
Yeah, same.
But
Actually, I'm wrong. It is the compound radius.
Ah,
Never mind. So that might be why, hey?
What is it?
7.25 to 9.5. What's the 12th?
Really, really plays good. And yeah, really cool. Really
And that whole
like it.
compound radius thing, part of it is that it makes chording sort of easier in the first sort of 5 to 7 frets of the guitar. So, you know, going a bit flatter as it goes up, it's a very custom shop kind of feature. It's also what you get on a lot of other high-end brands like Sir or also, I don't want to name lots of other names because then, you know, Phil's going to get angry with me. So I'll just stop there.
Very cool. Really like this.
And I love the paisley. The paisley
very cool.
is cool. It's sort of got a metal vibe to it. Metal flowers.
Yeah. Limited edition.
Yeah. Very, very nice guitar. Oh, there we go. And I'll pass that behind me while talking and trying to think of what the price is at the same time. So that one that you just played, 89,995. So the one that you've got right now, I think, is one of the very best deals tonight. That particular guitar we've had in the shop before, and well, that model, shall I say, and that is just a stunning collection of things. And because this guitar came in a little while ago, it's a great price. That's 69,995, so it's a great place to start. This one's got 6,100 frets, so you've got the railroad tracks going on, the 60s Oval C. It's just a very playable guitar, and if you like relicking tastefully done, this is really amazing. Afterwards, come and look at it up close, the checking in the finish, because it's got that metallicness to the Aztec gold. You can actually check the grain of the wood through it, and you can see the checking from the finish moving, which is amazing. I love it. It's just one of those guitars, when you get up close to it, you just want to keep looking at it.
Keep playing it, yeah?
Texas special pickups as well.
Hand wounds?
Yep. Quarter saw neck too.
Very, very playable guitar. Super, super playable. And I see exactly what you mean by the playability of it. Is this a 60s C oval?
Yeah, 60s Oval C.
Yeah, so this one's a little bit smaller than, I can't remember which one it was, the one I liked. But still very, very, very
I think the
comfortable.
fret size is more your bag, right? The big,
Yeah, the fret size is great.
Big
I mean, this
fret.
thing's got, you know, action on the higher side, and you would never say so. But the problem is with big frets is if you hold the guitar hard,
yeah, attitude.
you can get it out. You can get out of tune. So if I'm playing an A chord, and you can bend downwards, right? So you got to always be careful, especially in chords. And this always comes across, I find, in studio, like comes out like glaring. You know, live you can kind of get away with it, but when we're doing rhythmic parts in studio, and then sometimes if you're squeezing a little bit too hard, the guitar sounds just completely out.
Do the Joe Satriani thing and just have different necks for your studio guitar. Just put a different neck on, you know. He doesn't have to do that anymore because he's not poor and he has a signature guitar. But
this is great, guys. This is a winner.
This is an amazing deal. And one of the things about custom shop guitars is you think of it as a huge outlay right now, but look at what the rand's done throughout our lifetimes. Unfortunately, the country we live in just does mean that the currency is going to probably keep getting weaker gradually over our lifetimes, and that does mean that this kind of thing, 10 years' time, it's going to be worth a lot more than what it's worth now, and these things do retain their value pretty well as well. So. And if you're worried about insurance, a 69,000 rand guitar is about $70 on out and about insurance with our insurance if you want to take it out your house. If you don't want to take it out your house, just leave it under your home insurance. It's not an expensive thing to own. It's just expensive in the outlay, but it's the kind of thing that we'll just appreciate.
You know, I always say is, we easily will spend. What's the cheapest new car you can get? It's like it must be 300 grand.
No,
right?
yeah,
it must be, right? And those doors will fall
probably
off.
Something Chinese for like
and the doors probably more than likely will fall off in the first year, if you're lucky, But guitars, we always see them as these expensive things, but especially if you're a pro, it's a tool of your trade. But even if you're not a pro, and you're a weekend warrior, it's going to last you a lifetime, and it's going to bring so much joy when you find the right thing.
And absolutely, and if you get into a little trouble 20 years from now, you could probably pawn it on a house or something. Yeah. So, not quite, but it is one. I know a lot of guys who bought guitars 10 years ago, 15 years ago, just custom shops, not vintage guitars. They're making 5, 6, 10 times their money on some of these guitars because of how the value's gone. Especially the last 2 years during COVID, there's been a huge boom on guitars. But it's been difficult to make them. Raw materials have been much more expensive than before. Labor's been more expensive than before. Everything's gone up, shipping, everything. So guitars are just getting more expensive and have gotten more expensive in the last 2 years. I bought a custom shop last year. I've gained like 30 grand on the guitar, and the guitar wasn't that much. So it's like mind-blowing, like where it's going to go. But first and foremost, buy a guitar that you like. But if you are thinking about future value, custom shop is where you should put your money because it's going to stay.
Awesome.
And next we'll start talking about yachts and watches and Italian sports cars and things like that. Those aren't good investments unless they're limited edition.
So what's this finish called? It's very interesting.
So that is aged Daphne Blue Sparkle. That particular guitar is also a limited edition. And it's a 1961, so again, the rosewood board, all the usual sort of specs. I don't think I need to say them again, do I? 6105 frets.
Right. Oh, good.
It's sparkly. It's beautiful.
Lovely,
It's kind of like if somebody bedazzled a 1985 Toyota Corolla or something like that, color-wise. But I like that. It looks cool. We're on the home stretch, guys. Don't worry, we're done soon.
Very nice. One of the more modern necks of all of them. I'd probably say
Very skinny, eh?
yeah, quite skinny at the top, probably the skinniest at the top. And I mean, that's a lot of people dig that.
What do you think of the pickups?
Really nice.
But hotter, again, twisted telly and broadcaster. So.
Yeah, and you see they sound different to all the other twisted
exactly.
tellies. All the body makes a difference, you know.
Absolutely
The
does.
frets, all of that. This is really, really nice.
Love the color as well. Like that kind of color, because it's a little bit more unique. It's a really cool sort of investment opportunity from that, because most people are buying Sunburst, and Sunburst is boring. This isn't boring. This has got some sparkle to it, and I dig it. Also, you can check the wood grain through, and you guys come up and look at it. All of these sort of sparkly, more metallic finishes. The finish seems to sink into the pores a little bit differently than some of the more solid finishes. So it's just a gorgeous guitar. I'd hang that on the wall when I'm not playing it, because I want to play that. I don't think I said the price, did I? Well, I don't know. I got earplugs in. I can't tell what you guys are saying.
Nope.
Okay, 88,995. So that is a 59 Journeyman Relic limited edition in aged Seafoam Green. That's a great guitar as well. 80,995 South African rands. Or if you want to pay us in dollars, we'll take it. That'd be cool. Fat 50s hand wides.
Once again, the Fat 50 sound really, really cool. They're very player-friendly pickups. I mean, I know it's different for everyone depending what's under their fingers, but I've always found Fat 50s just a really, really comfortable pickup to play. It's got like scoops in the right places.
Flatters you a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't go, whoa, you suck when you play guitar. Some pickups do that.
Yeah, they do.
Telecasters, I must say, are the kind of guitar that will let you know that you really suck at guitar. That's why I play tellies, because I want to be reminded how bad I am. So,
all in all, awesome and awesome checking on here. Awesome checking.
Oh, it's a great color again. Seafoam green, car color from the 50s. Really beautiful. Grab us another guitar there. It's because it's in the camera shot, so you had to wait.
Thank you.
Plug that up. You want to take that? So I'm really biased to this guitar because I have one that's the same, the one that you're holding.
So it's a very interesting neck. What's going on?
You better like it, hey? You better like it. I want you to validate my purchase. So that's got a large C neck. So it's similar to the Master Design or the Poblano, the Lake Placid Blue. On paper, the same profile. That one feels a little smaller than I think than the other two did.
Yes, it does. It's also got a bit of lacquer on the back.
Yeah, lacquer on the back. That's a roasted maple with flame. Very flamey. And Beautiful. It's got a roasted maple board. So it's not a single piece. It's actually, because it's a 1960 NOS. This has got no relicking, but it is the whole lacquer finish. I can tell you it definitely has the lacquer finish because a mate of mine kept bumping it against the table one time. So he's in the audience, so I was just reminding him. Love you.
Definitely a little softer.
So that's actually twisted telly pickups.
Once again, all right.
But
maybe it's the
ash body rather than older. So.
It's interesting. It's got more of a hollowness to it, which is really nice. And the bridge pickup seems to be have more boomer than some of the others. I don't know. It's got
He's validating my purchase. I bought a good thing, guys. It's amazing.
It's crazy how it drives you up, right?
So, did I buy the right thing, Dan?
I think so.
Okay, well, that's a limited edition 1960. Now, what's amazing also with the Custom Shop, because they are so back-ordered with things, this is a 2020 limited edition that was made in 2022. Mine was a 2021 made 2020 limited edition. It's just because nowadays your master build lead time can be up to like 4 to 6 years, depending on the master builder. That's how many people want these things. The demand is insane. So, even on the limited editions, when they release it for NAMM or things like that, it'll take them a few years to get them all out. And this one's fresh off the production line. It smells beautiful because it's fresh nitro rather than the whole Relic thing. The Relic thing kind of smells old. Though it smells sort of sweet, like you want to lick it or something. So I wouldn't recommend licking nitro. It's slightly dangerous, but it isn't. It's sealed. So that particular one, price-wise, I should probably mention if I could find the documents. That one's $75,995. It's also on the lower end of cost because it's NRS, new old stock, so no relicking or anything like that. These are also sorted for lightweight, so it's a very light telly despite a giant neck. So great guitar, and I'm still continuing to talk myself into that I bought the right thing. So if you guys want one, it's a great guitar. And we are on to our last guitar, I think. Are we? We are. No ways. Okay. What are you pointing at? What's happening? What are you pointing at? No. Remember, I got earplugs in. I can't tell what you're saying. If he played soft, I could hear you, but he doesn't. So this is also limited edition, a 1961 Stratocaster Heavy Relic Fiesta Red over Sunburst. It's very pretty. It's $94,995, so a bit more expensive because of all the special finishing things going on over there. Fat 60s hand wide pickups. Roasted maple neck.
Nice player. Really, really nice player, this one.
Before you go on, I just want to say thanks, Dan. Could you guys give him a hand? This is the last guitar he's playing. This thing.
Thank you.
Dude, you just make it all sound amazing.
Oh, man, thank you, man.
How do you do that?
Well,
it's talent or something, right?
But you know what? There's for me, it's such a pleasure to play. I've never had the opportunity in my life. When you go into a music store, there's normally a couple custom shops or a couple high-end guitars, but to sit on a stage and play how many, 19 or 20, 19. Whatever we've played, one after each other, it's Unbelievable.
So much context as well. Like what we were saying earlier, again, is try lots of guitars because you do just learn. And I mean, again, my mate Mark in the audience, we've done this in the shop a bunch of times, and it's really illuminating because you go in with preconceptions always because of what you read, what other people have said, and then when you try it, you're like, it's
different things.
It's not what you thought. So
exactly,
it's an eye-opening thing. Definitely take the time, and also terrorize some music store employees. They want you to buy something, but you're gonna make them run up and down and pull out different guitars for them. There's Jason who's been on camera. Thank you, Jason. Thanks for your help.
Thanks,
tonight.
buddy.
He's here at Marshall Music. There's also Brandon who's in the audience. One of the best guys, but they're both the best guy. You're the equal best. How about that? But yeah, we're at Marshall Music tonight. We've enjoyed this. Have you enjoyed this particular guitar? I don't think we actually...
Yeah, we haven't even spoken about it.
Sorry.
No,
I'm waxing lyrical.
It's really nice. It's also got like a smaller neck.
I heard that.
A little bit of a smaller neck on this one. But lovely kind of, once again, it feels really good because of how they removed the finish there. It feels good. And also,
roasted?
Yeah. Is it roasted?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's why it feels so good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is body roasted?
No.
Body's not roasted. Plays great, and I love a Fiesta Red, especially an aged Fiesta Red. Because
sort of pinky, coral pinkish
almost
looking.
like a pink kind of flavor, and obviously it's got this beautiful sunburst underneath it too. Yeah, this one plays absolutely beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What year is it supposed to be?
That's a 61, I think. Yeah, 61.
Right.
Love the clay dots on these as well. The sort of period correct looks really cool. Also, the other thing with roasted maples, it smells nice too. It's also got a particularly sort of sweet smell about it. I don't know why that is, but something about custom shop nitro finished guitars, when you open that case and you just get that waft of sort of sweet almonds or whatever it is from the finish, it just lets you know I'm a rich bastard. Sorry. No, it lets you know that you bought something really nice. It's just, it is comforting.
It is.
There's something about that.
Very awesome thing.
Yeah, it is a really awesome thing. What cases? No, none of them come with cases. Get your own case. No, they do come with cases. They all come with G&G deluxe cases made in America, the same case manufacturer that made the original rectangular Fender cases. Depending on the guitar, some of them will have different styles. Some are tweed, some are brown interiors. Some will be pink or orange. Like this one comes with a brown case with an orange interior, which really sets off the guitar. Some of the darker colors, they'll do like a bright red or pink interior to set off the color of the guitar, and it's pretty well thought out.
Sure.
Don't lose your custom shop case. It says custom shop in the inside. You can't buy another one very easily. They are like $600 for a case, so don't lose it. Signal path. Yeah, we should mention that. We are running through a Tone Master Super Reverb.
Yeah,
actually.
Which is a digital amp, which is quite...
Digital amp. The reason we're doing that actually is because we don't have electricity in South Africa right now. We have load shedding and we're running on a backup system.
And I must say, I'm really, really impressed with the amp. I mean, it weighs nothing.
Yeah, it's huge, but it weighs nothing.
It weighs nothing, and it sounds pretty good. Pedal-wise, I'm just using my European touring board, like a very small thing. So I'm using a Kingtone Fuzz, a Kingtone Soloist for drive, Honeybee Clean Drive, and a Tech 21 Reverb. But I've only used the clean drive and the reverb. I haven't put on the...
I picked the right moment to pull the earplug out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a signal path.
So that's signal path, and I think it's mic'd up with a Lewitt MTP 440 dynamic, which is a very nice sounding dynamic mic running into a Rodecaster Pro, which is where we're getting all the sounds to be streaming. Okay, so we are right bang on exactly the time we were supposed to finish, 6:30 to 8. So we are finished.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. We'll give you an opportunity. Thanks. This is Dan Patlansky. I'm Mike. We're at Marshall Music. These things will all be available on the Marshall Music website or in the shops. You can come over the course of the next month and a half. They'll be here until the end of October or even longer, depending on how things go. So do come and check them out. Do check them out online. There are giveaways, of course, online, so it would have been popping throughout the stream. So hopefully you've entered to win some DR strings. Hopefully you've entered to win some Fender accessories. And if you're here, you do get some DR strings. So if you don't have any, talk to Diervold. He knows nothing about it, by the way, so don't talk to him. Talk to Jason over here. Thanks, guys. Let's kill the stream then. We'll take some questions here if anybody wants anything. So, anyone want to